Mike Tedeschi, portfolio manager over at Perspective Wealth Planning. Earnings season continues, and we're going to take a look at a number of key names this week that are reporting. In this video, we're going to take a look at names reporting after the bell on Monday and before and after the close on Tuesday. After the bell on Monday, we're going to take a look at Mosaic, Intrepid, and Expedia. Before the bell on Tuesday, we are going to take a look at Pfizer. And Tuesday after the bell, we're going to take a look at AMD, Airbnb, StarBucks, and Skyworks. Let's jump right into it here. Both Mosaic and Intrepid are both potash companies. With everything that happened in Ukraine, with Russia this year, we saw a huge push out of these names. Mosaic is sitting right on this important 62 to 58 level, which is from that breakout that we saw back in February. Heading into earnings, it's going to be very interesting to see forward guidance and get a little more understanding of the potash market, and that's why we really want to pay attention to both of these. You can see IPI ran into resistance back in 2016 up at that 120 level and has fallen back down off of that zone. The important breakout here on this chart is actually at about 55. The other key level in here is right around 70, which we saw hold on that pullback right there towards the end of March. So we're going to be watching that 70 and that about 110 to 120 level. Expedia. We had a breakout at the beginning of the year that made a move all the way back down and held really this major support zone between 150 and 140. And if we take a look at this range right here, the middle of this zone, and you can see the importance when I draw that line in on the chart, that 170 zone has been a very key price action level for the last year or so. From here, all of this here, right in this zone, a little bit below that, and then immediately came back up above it, acting as support and potentially acting as support here. So the key levels to watch in on this are going to be this 170 zone. A break underneath kind of puts the low of the year back on deck around that 150. And if you can get back up over that 190, we got to run back up towards those potential all-time highs. Really interested in seeing what Expedia has to say in terms of the travel market moving forward. Now, before the bell on Tuesday, we have Pfizer reporting, and Pfizer made that all-time high breakout last year, obviously off of the COVID-19 vaccine that they had. We had a huge push up, and it came all the way back and tested that breakout zone back in October. And since then, we have continued to put in higher lows. So you guys can see we've put in higher lows, and we technically have higher highs if we can take 56 back out and continue to push, right? So this year we have kind of stalled out at that 56 zone, and we're actually kind of making a wedge now if you take a look at it like this, right? Kind of tightening up. So there's two very, very important levels that we're going to be watching going into earnings here for Pfizer. We definitely do not want to see it make a lower low if you're in on the bullish side, but it's this 45, it's this gap up from earnings last November, and that is what is held. So 45 is going to be the floor that we're going to be looking at from a support standpoint, and that resistance zone is going to come all the way back to that 57 right into this like 55 zone. A move back up above that would target those all-time highs there. So definitely going to pay very close attention to what's going on here. Now, after the bell on Tuesday, we have AMD. Now, AMD was a clean market leader here for a while, and it has had a rough go of things this year, along with the majority of the semiconductors, right? The bearish case in here on AMD and the semiconductors is you have that potential head and shoulders top with the neckline break right here. All right, and that does target much lower prices if this is a real head and shoulders top. Now, the bullish side of things is very clearly it has not broken below the major level of support that once it got over basically in July of 2020, it has held cleanly over that zone, right? Meaning the major support is not that far away right in here, just above 70, and we get that major resistance now in there at 100. And you can see the importance of this price action zone, and we are basically going to be right in the middle of this zone, right? At the moment, we're at 85. It's 15 points to that 100 zone. It's basically 15 points to that 70 zone. So we're really going to be paying attention to that 100 and that 70 area. And the outcome of this is very important, being it's one of the larger and more important semiconductor names out there. Next up, I want to take a look at Airbnb. From a charting standpoint, this is not really very interesting. Since we had the IPO, we have not traded below 121, and we have not traded above 219. And as you can see here, we're trapped right in the middle of this kind of zone right here, and it has just been a big, messy, range essentially for the last year and a half, 2 years or so. What is important more is what they have to say in terms of that rental market and the global travel. I'm very interested to see forward guidance and things of that nature from this company. So paying a little bit less attention to what's going on with the chart and more attention to what is going on in the actual earnings report itself. If you're looking at those key levels, 120 obviously is a major floor. That is the all-time low. And again, support is not a number, it is a zone, and that zone really goes all the way up to 130. So 130 to 120 zone is going to be the important zone on the downside, and we do have some resistance in about that 180 to 190 zone from a couple of times earlier this year and the end of last year, and so you can see the kind of important zones that we're going to be watching on the chart. Next, I want to take a look in at Starbucks. Now, Starbucks had that big breakout in 2020 and pushed up to new highs and has since fallen from grace here and has been hit especially hard this year. And when we take a look at this chart and we remove the panic from 2020, right, that coronavirus bottom there, if we kind of remove that from the chart and pay attention to the major price action levels, not during a huge panic zone, we get this 69 to 72 zone, that breakout from 2019, the end of 2019. So the beginning of 2019, and then we do have some major support if this level were to break all the way back down at that 52 zone. To the upside, we are really looking at that 90 to 100 as resistance zone. And I'll zoom in a little bit better so you guys can see the importance here. But you can see we failed to kind of get up over that 92. We put in lower highs, and then we fell, and we actually broke and made another lower low there. But you can see this whole price action zone, very important in here, as well as when we finally got above it, you see a test back of it, and it held. So really between that 91 and that 98 is very important on the resistance side, and that 72 to 70 is really important in on that support side. All right, we're going to pay very close attention to what happens here with this one. And last but not least, we'll take a look at Skyworks. Skyworks, another semiconductor company, made a big breakout there in 2020, and I want to put the zone, the important zone, in on this chart, okay? And you can see the importance of this zone going all the way back to 2014 with that failed breakout and move back underneath of it. Fought to stay in this zone, couldn't hold it, and then finally we had a false breakout here, and then when we finally got over this zone, we held it until the last week or so, and now we're back in this major price action zone. And if you can see, going back to 2015, the winner of this zone has determined that next move, and so we're paying very, very close attention here to the outcome. A move underneath of 100, we would then run back down towards that next support zone, which is in about that 70 to 55 zone. In the middle of that range, you can also see is important as well at 85. You can see a lot of that price action here that's taken place over the last couple of years. A move back over 120 would be a good sign. If we do get back up over 120, it's that 140 to probably about 145, 146 zone of resistance that we'd be paying very close attention to. It has been in a prolonged downtrend since the middle of last year, just clean, clear, lower highs, lower lows. And so if you're looking at this from a bullish perspective, you've got to take out that last lower high and make a higher high to change this chart. So that's what we're going to be watching Skyworks earnings. We have a ton of other companies reporting this week, so we'll be putting out more videos analyzing them as well. I hope this information is useful for you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at mtedeschi@perspectivewealthplanning.com or give me a call at 814-580-9881. Love to talk anything about the markets with you guys. Until tomorrow, take care.